You gave her your love, your time, your energy. And when she was done, she walked away like none of it mattered. Now she's out there thinking you're still stuck, scrolling through her old pictures, hoping she'll text you back. She thinks you'll break no contact. She thinks you're still hers. But what if I told you, you could flip everything? What if you became the one she can't stop thinking about? The one she stalks, chases, dreams about getting back with, but can't? Modern relationships have twisted power dynamics. Men are conditioned to chase, to beg, to prove themselves, while women sit back and weigh their options. That ends now. This is your awakening. Today, I'm giving you the blueprint to make her chase you after no contact. This isn't about revenge. It's about transformation. This will shake you up, challenge everything you believe, and if you're ready to walk the walk, it will change your life. If you're ready to watch this video till the end, drop a comment right now. Never again, and stay with me. Every word from here on out is for you, and only you. Number 1. She chases what she can't control. Every man who's been left behind by a woman he gave everything to knows this pain. The constant checking of your phone, replaying the breakup conversation in your head, overanalyzing every word she said, wondering what you did wrong and why she lost interest, even when you tried so hard to do everything right. You were predictable. You responded fast. You reassured her. You made her your priority. And she slowly, systematically began to pull away. Why? Because what she can predict, she does not desire. What she understands fully, she does not chase. And what she controls, she eventually walks away from. You became an emotional vending machine. Press the right button, and you gave her validation, comfort, time, energy. But now that you've gone no contact, you're stepping into the most dangerous power you've ever held. Uncertainty. Not for you, but for her. She's no longer sure of your feelings. She doesn't know if she still has you wrapped around her finger. She begins to question her worth, her status in your life. And this is where it starts, her chasing you. Not because you're playing a game, but because for the first time, you're no longer emotionally enslaved. You've pulled back your attention, and that vacuum drives her crazy. You need to understand, in her mind, the man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't explain, who disappears and glows up, is a riddle she's desperate to solve. You stop being the one who still cares, and start becoming the one she underestimated. This transformation is not about being cruel. It's about being scarce. It's about letting your absence create the pressure she never felt when you were always around. Don't confuse absence with avoidance. You don't avoid her, you ascend. You level up so profoundly that when she looks at you again, you're unrecognizable, not bitter, not broken, but thriving. She starts to obsess. Who is he now? Does he miss me? Is he seeing someone? Why hasn't he posted? Why hasn't he texted? And the longer you don't answer those questions, the more powerful you become in her reality. She chases not because of manipulation, but because the silence forced her to see herself. And she's terrified of being forgotten by the man who once made her feel everything. But here's the twist. You don't do this for her. You do this for you. Because every time you held back your boundaries to keep her comfortable, you lost a part of yourself. This is where you reclaim it. Have you ever thought about how you completely derailed your own priorities just to make sure she felt secure? How many times did you cancel plans for her, change your opinions to avoid arguments, or lower your standards to keep her interested? Every time you said yes when you wanted to say no, you trained her to believe that your emotions are negotiable. Now that you're out, that illusion is shattered. The only way she's ever going to feel your value again is if you take it away completely. And not in a petty way, but in a permanent way. You build a life so damn fulfilling that her presence feels like a distraction, not a reward. That's when she starts to chase, not the old you, but the man she never thought you'd become. A man she can't manipulate, guilt, or control. A man who doesn't need her, because he built everything without her. From this day forward, never explain your detachment. Let your success speak. Let your absence teach. And let her chase the man she thought would always be available, until you weren't. And once you understand that level of power, the only next move is mastering it fully. And that's why I created the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men. This isn't just another book. It's a full transformation guide for men who are tired of chasing, tired of being emotionally manipulated, and ready to take back control. If you've ever asked yourself, why do I always end up feeling used? Or, why can't I walk away with strength? This blueprint answers it all. It's not about games or tricks. It's about rewiring how you operate, how you think, and how you show up in every relationship so that you are never disposable again. It's linked in the comments, and once you own it, it's yours forever. No subscription, no expiration. Just raw, unfiltered truth and timeless Stoic wisdom you can access anytime your mind starts slipping or your heart starts breaking. If you're ready to stop being confused, anxious, and reactive, and start becoming centered, powerful, and respected, grab the book now. This is the knowledge you keep for life. Number 2, never be her plan B. There is no deeper betrayal in the emotional world of a man than knowing he was only ever an option, not the choice. That woman you loved, supported, prioritized, stood by. When she left, she didn't leave to be alone. She left to explore, to weigh her options, to find someone better. You were the safety net, the fallback, the plan B, and the reason you ended up in that role, because you kept proving your availability even when she stopped proving her loyalty. You need to let this truth pierce through your illusions. The moment you allow a woman to put you on emotional standby, you automatically place yourself beneath her. And in her mind, if you're willing to wait, you can't possibly be worth the pursuit. No woman wants to run toward a man who's standing still, watching, hoping, waiting. She only runs when she senses you're slipping out of reach, when she feels she no longer has you in her emotional grip. And the reason most men never escape this dynamic is because they're too scared to walk away fully. They stay half in, checking her stories, liking her posts, replying to her breadcrumb messages, praying she'll see their worth one day. But she never does, because women only respect the man who respects himself more than he fears losing her. If she knows she can walk away and still have your heart waiting, she'll never respect it. She might even come back, not because she missed you, but because her first choice didn't work out. And if you take her back without forcing her to earn it, you reinforce her belief that you'll always be there, no matter how she treats you. That's how you destroy your value, by making yourself accessible after she made you optional. So what do? You stop waiting. You stop watching. You stop orbiting her world like a satellite hoping for a signal. You become your own sun. You build gravity around yourself so strong that anyone who left starts to feel the pull of what they lost. And not because you texted her, not because you begged for closure, but because you became so fulfilled in your own life that she begins to question whether her decision was a mistake. You want her to regret walking away. Show her the man she could have had, and the man she can never manipulate again. It starts with boundaries. It starts with silence. It starts with discipline. When she texts, don't reply. When she likes, don't engage. When she flirts, don't fall. Make her prove everything. Make her earn proximity. Because when a woman loses access to you and sees you're thriving without her, that's when the tables turn. She starts to panic. She starts to chase. She starts to question herself. But you stay grounded. You stay calm. You stay unavailable to her chaos, because your peace is no longer negotiable. Have you ever been so emotionally exhausted by someone that even when they tried to come back, you couldn't feel anything anymore? That's what happens when you truly move on, and that's what you must aim for. Not to get her back, but to become so complete, so abundant, so powerful, that her return isn't a reward, it's an interruption. From now on, never again let a woman treat you like an option. You are the prize, you are the peak, and if she can't see that from the beginning, she doesn't deserve to see it at the end. Let her chase, let her wonder, let her feel the absence of the man who once gave everything, but will never give it again without value returned. You're not a waiting room, you're the finish line, and she either earns her place in your life, or she learns to live without it. Number 3, self-improvement is the weapon. You sit in your room, lights off, scrolling through her pictures, replaying the laughter, the touches, the conversations. You remember how she looked at you when she was yours, and you wonder if she ever will again. But here's what no one told you. Dwelling on the past won't bring her back, and even if it did, what are you bringing her back to? The same man who got left, the same habits, the same weaknesses. If you want her to notice, to regret, to chase, you don't beg, plead, or prove anything to her. You become undeniable. You become the man she thought she could replace, and realize she never can. Self-improvement is not about six-pack abs or new followers. It's about discipline, focus, mastery. It's the man who wakes up with a plan, not pain, who uses heartbreak not to drown, but to rise, who turns every tear into reps, every rejection into fuel. Imagine walking into a room months after she ghosted you, and she doesn't even recognize the man you've become. Your energy is calmer, your words are sharper, your posture powerful, and she senses it immediately. This man doesn't need me. This man rebuilt himself. And that fear, the fear of being irrelevant to the man she once owned, that's what triggers the chase. But none of this happens by chance. It starts with you taking accountability. Yes, she hurt you. Yes, she left. But the only thing you control now is how far you rise after that fall. Start with your body. Your mind can lie to you, but your body never does. Train it, feed it, watch it evolve. Then your mind follows. Read daily, cut the distractions, turn your phone off, and write your future out, line by line. Set goals that scare you, then attack them like your life depends on it. Because it does. When you stop needing her validation and start stacking small wins, you create an aura. That aura speaks louder than any DM, any apology, any quote you could ever post. It screams, I moved on, I leveled up, and now I only attract what aligns with my worth. Have you ever been so focused on yourself that you forgot to even check her story? That's where the power lives. That's when the tables turn. That's when you walk past her, clean, driven, composed, and she feels it in her soul, and you don't even flinch. Because this journey was never about revenge, it was about resurrection. She lost a man who loved her. She sees a man who loves himself, and that she can't compete with. Self-improvement is not temporary. It's not a phase. It's your new baseline. The life you build from this pain will become the standard others are measured against. But only if you start today. No more scrolling, no more waiting. Get up, train, build, evolve. Let the world feel your absence until they earn your presence. And let her learn the hardest lesson of all. The man she lost became everything she ever wanted without her. Number 4. Social proof destroys her confidence. There's a moment, days, weeks, maybe even months after no contact, when she stumbles across your profile, and for the first time, it hits her. You're not stuck. You're not waiting. You're glowing. You're smiling. And you're not alone. That one post, that one photo, that one story, it cracks her. Because now she sees it. Other women are laughing with you, noticing you, being seen next to you, and suddenly the pedestal she placed herself on starts to shake. You have to understand, women don't just fear being replaced. They fear being publicly forgotten. The moment she realizes your life continued without her, and not just continued but improved, she starts to panic. Because in her mind, she expected you to suffer. She expected your world to collapse. But now she sees you in that photo, clean haircut, confident stance, surrounded by energy that screams, "I've moved on." And she realizes she might have miscalculated. And here's where it gets real. This doesn't happen if you're hiding, if you're ghosting out of pain, if you're deleting posts to avoid being seen. You want to flip the script? Show her your life, but not for her, for you. Social proof isn't about flexing, it's about broadcasting truth. You are better, you are evolving, you are being noticed, and you're no longer orbiting her emotional galaxy. You've become a sun. Have you ever posted something simple, like you at a rooftop dinner or walking out of the gym, and suddenly she likes your story, comments, or texts out of nowhere? That's not coincidence. That's her ego checking in. She's trying to gauge if you've moved on, if someone else filled her place. And the more uncertain she becomes, the more desperate she grows. But here's your mission. Don't bite. Don't explain. Don't fall into the trap. Keep moving forward. Post with purpose. Be intentional. And most importantly, live it for real. Don't fake happiness. Build a life that makes you proud, with or without her attention. If you want her mind to spiral, show her you no longer revolve around her. That the man she thought needed her for confidence is now being praised, pursued, and prioritized by others. And he doesn't even acknowledge her presence. That's when the doubt creeps in. That's when she questions everything. That's when the chase begins. Because no woman wants to watch the man she left become the man every other woman now wants. Let her watch, let her feel, let her regret. But you stay composed. You stay progressing. You let your life tell the story, and she'll read it every single day, whether you reply or not. Number 5, ambiguity is magnetic. If she can predict you, she controls you. If she knows what you're thinking, when you'll text, what you'll say, you are no longer a mystery. You're routine. You're dull. You're a chapter she thinks she's already read. And in her mind, once she believes she's figured you out, her attention wanders. It's not even always intentional. It's primal. Certainty kills curiosity. Curiosity fuels desire. And this is where most men lose the game, by trying to be too available, too open, too explanatory. You think honesty means telling her everything. You think loyalty means full transparency. But what you're doing is removing the very edge she was addicted to in the beginning. The excitement she felt when she didn't know how you'd react, when she didn't know where she stood, when she felt the pull of your focus without knowing if she truly held your heart. That's the spark. And you killed it by overexposing yourself. You gave her constant updates. You responded fast. You over-explained your every move. And now she feels no challenge. And what is not a challenge becomes boring. So how do you fix it? By reclaiming your unpredictability. Not by playing games, but by living with purpose. Stop making your schedule revolve around her messages. Stop giving her previews of your day like she's subscribed to a newsletter. Be intentional with your presence and scarce with your explanations. Let her wonder why you didn't reply. Let her sit with the silence. Let her ask herself if you're thinking about her or if she's becoming a distant memory. That ambiguity creates emotional tension. And tension, when not manipulated, becomes magnetic. She starts thinking about you again because she no longer has access to your mind. Think about the movies or stories where the hero withdraws to rebuild, where he disappears to train, to grow, to plan his return. He's not broadcasting every rep, every step, every thought. He re-emerges when he's ready, not when someone demands his time. Be that man. The man whose life is too focused, too disciplined, too rare to be easily understood. Post less, speak less, move more. Create a sense that something is always happening behind the scenes, something she isn't allowed to see unless she earns that level of access again. Make her earn every detail, every reply, every piece of your energy. When she asks, "What have you been up to?" don't spill everything. Say, "I've been building," and leave it there. Let her imagination fill the gaps, because her imagination will always create a version of you more powerful than anything you can explain. That's the trick. You don't chase her mind, you make her mind chase you. And the only way to do that is to stop being an open book and start becoming an unreadable classic. The kind of man she has to study, observe, decode. And the more she tries, the deeper she falls. Ambiguity is not deception, it's depth. And depth makes you unforgettable. Number 6. Stop rewarding her breadcrumbs. You've felt it, that rush when her name lights up your screen after days or weeks of silence. Maybe it's a hey, or just thinking about you, or even a photo of something random. And you jump, heart racing, mind spinning. She reached out. Maybe she wants you back. Maybe this is it. But here's the truth that crushes most men's illusions. That message is not affection. It's not love. It's a breadcrumb. It's a test. She's not trying to reconnect. She's trying to check if you're still emotionally available. She wants to know if you'll respond instantly, if you'll start pouring your energy back into her. And when you do, she disappears again. Why? Because you passed the test and failed yourself. You gave her the validation she needed. You proved she still owns a piece of you. And now that her ego is fed, she's gone. This is the cycle that traps so many men, stuck in limbo, responding to crumbs, mistaking them for meals, hoping that maybe, just maybe, she's realizing your worth. But the only thing she's realizing is that she can still summon you at will. You don't break this cycle by texting back less or playing harder to get. You destroy it completely by refusing to engage with anything that doesn't serve your growth or reflect true effort. You don't respond to weak signals. You don't reward shallow engagement. You don't acknowledge half-hearted effort. If she wants you back, she better move like she means it. Calls, apologies, effort, initiatives. Until then, her hey gets no reply. Her story reaction gets no view. Her little games get no attention. Because your time is now too valuable. Your energy is now too refined. And your peace is now too protected. Let her wonder why you didn't reply. Let her feel the silence she used to weaponize against you. That's when she realizes you've changed. You're not the same man who would have jumped at breadcrumbs. You're the man who's built his life into a feast and now only accepts those who come hungry and humble. Think about this. Would you accept a job offer from the same company that ghosted your resume, ignored your calls, and only reached out when their top candidates declined? No, you'd walk in, decline politely, and leave knowing your value never depended on their attention. So why do you accept that treatment from someone who gave you less than you gave her? From this moment forward, draw the line. Set the standard. Make her earn your interest the same way you used to earn hers. No more halfway love. No more just checking in. She lost access. Now she proves if she deserves it again. Or she watches the man who once replied in seconds become the one she can't reach at all. Number 7. Her insecurity is your leverage. She may walk away with her head high, her stories filled with smiles, and her phone buzzing with new attention. But deep down, a countdown begins the moment she leaves. A countdown to when she starts questioning if the man she let go was truly as forgettable as she convinced herself. Because what she expects is for you to break, to chase, to spiral into desperation. What she counts on is your validation still orbiting her ego, waiting for a reason to return. But the minute you break that cycle, the minute she sees that her presence in your life is no longer a source of strength, but a closed chapter in a bigger book you're writing, her confidence takes a hit and insecurity sets in. Not the loud, visible kind, the quiet, obsessive, what-if kind that creeps in while she's alone. It's the insecurity that makes her scroll your profile late at night, looking for signs of replacement, that makes her type a message and delete it 5 times because she doesn't know how to reach you anymore. That makes her compare every new guy to the version of you she never expected to lose. But this only happens if you evolve. You do not get this leverage by pretending. You earn it by actually becoming untouchable. You build a life so undeniably powerful, fulfilling, and purposeful that even if she comes back, she meets a man who no longer flinches. You want her to question herself? You want her to doubt her worth? Then you must remove her ability to affect your mood, your focus, your direction. When she notices she no longer triggers you, she no longer controls you. That realization unravels everything she built her confidence on. Insecurity for her doesn't come from your anger. It comes from your indifference, from seeing you no longer need to explain, react, or prove anything. When you stop reacting, you become unpredictable. When you become unpredictable, you become powerful. When you become powerful, you become irresistible. But here's where men go wrong. They try to fake it. They post with forced confidence. They pretend to be busy. They talk loud but live quiet. And she sees right through it. That's not power. That's performance. True leverage comes from peace, from knowing you gave your best and walked away not because you lost, but because you outgrew the version of yourself that needed her. That's the man she obsesses over. That's the man she chases. And the irony, the moment she starts chasing is often the moment you realize you don't even want her anymore. Number 8, stay cool when she tests you. It's coming, the test, the moment you least expect it, when she reaches out not to reconnect, but to see if you're still hers emotionally, when she slides into your messages with a casual line, or sends a song, or reacts to your story, or starts posting selfies and stories clearly aimed at you. Not because she misses you, but because she wants to provoke a reaction, to see if the leash she once held still fits around your mind. And this is the test you must pass. Not with anger, not with games, but with composure, with poise, with unshakable detachment, because what she's really testing is your growth. She's wondering if you're still the same man she could trigger with a word, a look, a text, and every man who's gone through no contact knows this moment. The moment where you get baited into re-engaging, into reminding her she still matters, into proving you still care. But you need to ask yourself, what are you proving, and to who? Because she didn't check in on you when you were broken, when you were questioning your worth, when you were rebuilding your spirit in the dark. So now that the light's back on and you're moving different, why should she get to test your progress like it's some game? No, this is the moment you hold the line. And I don't mean silence out of spite. I mean silence out of self-respect, out of recognition that your peace is not on the table anymore. And when she tries to stir the pot, you don't even turn the stove on. You let her scream into the void. Let her bait and watch you not bite. Because real strength is not found in confrontation. It's found in restraint, in the ability to choose peace over proving yourself. And when you don't react, when you stay calm, focused, unbothered, that's when the test flips. Now she's the one spiraling. She's the one second-guessing. And she starts reaching deeper, escalating, hoping you'll break. And when you don't, she starts to crumble, because the man she thought she could manipulate no longer exists. The boy who once responded instantly is now a man too focused to flinch. And she realizes she doesn't own your emotions anymore. And that loss, that emotional independence, that unshakable control, you didn't get it from reading books or listening to gurus. You got it by sitting with your pain, by refusing to break, by rising from the ashes without bitterness. And now your silence doesn't come from rage. It comes from mastery. And when you master yourself, no test can undo you. No message can pull you back. And the longer you remain cool, the more the tables turn. The more she feels the tension of not being able to move you. Because nothing makes a woman chase harder than a man who remains unshaken when she throws her best emotional jabs. So remember this: every test is an invitation back to who you used to be, and your job is to decline it every time with grace, strength, and that look in your eye that says, "I'm not the same man you left." Number 9. You're not the same man. She left. She left thinking you'd be the same, that you'd stay stuck in the version of yourself she once knew, eager, reactive, available. She walked away with confidence because the last time she saw you, you were still bending to her emotional rhythm, still seeking her approval, still hoping to fix what was already broken. But time passed, and you changed, not for her, but for you. You woke up to the brutal truth that being a good man without boundaries is not enough. You realized that love, without self-respect, is just emotional servitude. So you rebuilt. You hit the gym, not just to look better but to feel stronger. You cut off distractions, not just to be more focused, but to protect your energy. You surrounded yourself with challenges, with ambition, with discipline. And with every day that passed, the old version of you died a little more. Until one day, you looked in the mirror and didn't even recognize the man staring back. He was sharper, calmer, hungrier, and most importantly, he no longer needed her. That's the version she never expected to exist. So when she checks in, sends a message, or even sees you in passing, she feels it. The shift, the coldness, the growth, the maturity. You no longer smile the same. You no longer lean in. You no longer accommodate. And that scares her more than anything. Because now, for the first time, she's the one unsure. She's the one chasing. She's the one trying to decode a man who no longer revolves around her validation. And this is where the power dynamic flips completely. Not because you rehearsed it, but because you earned it. She may still look the same, talk the same, try the same tactics, but you're not the same man anymore. You don't fall for breadcrumb texts. You don't get pulled into circular arguments. You don't seek closure because you built peace within yourself. That peace, that's what makes you dangerous. Because now, the woman who thought she could leave and return at will must come back to a man she no longer has access to. Not because you blocked her, but because you evolved beyond her reach. And that truth, that undeniable growth, that's what breaks her. That's what makes her chase. But by then, you're not chasing her. You're chasing greatness. And if she wants to be part of that journey, she must prove that she's evolved too. Not with words, but with action. Otherwise, she remains exactly where she left you. Only now, you're too far ahead to turn around. If you've made it this far, then deep down you already know. You can't keep doing what you've been doing and expect a different result. You've been patient. You've given chances. You've tolerated disrespect disguised as freedom. But now, it's your turn. The Stoic relationship blueprint isn't just a book. It's a warning to your past, a weapon for your future, and a cure for every regret you've buried trying to be the bigger man. It's linked in the comments. You either keep chasing women who see you as replaceable, or you become the man they fear losing. If you're ready to break the cycle, to stop being an emotional backup plan and start becoming the standard, comment, "I'm done being last." Like this video, and subscribe right now. Because the truth is, most men won't get this in time. They'll keep giving their hearts to women who see them as options, and they'll lose years they can't get back. But you're different. You're here. And this is your moment to change everything.